Why can a small layout change completely break a chip? We are trained to believe that if our design is correct, the chip will work. If the logic is right, timing is clean, simulations pass, silicon should behave exactly the same way. But in real chips, this assumption breaks. You can have a design that is completely correct and still end up with a chip that fails. And often the problem is not the circuit, it is the layout. Most of us are trained with a very clean abstraction. We design at the schematic level, simulate, verify timing, and assume fabrication simply reproduces that design. This leads to a powerful assumption that the schematic defines the circuit, that layout is just representation, that geometry does not change behavior. But this assumption breaks the moment we enter the physical world. When we move from schematic to layout, we enter the physical world. Every wire has resistance, every node has capacitance to the substrate and to nearby structures. Wires interact through electric fields. This is coupling. Devices are no longer identical. Their behavior depends on placement. So, layout is not just geometry, it changes the circuit itself. Take two circuits with identical schematics, same transistors, same sizes, same connections. From a design perspective, they are identical. Now implement them differently in layout. One compact, one stretched. Now their behavior begins to diverge because physical realization has changed. As wires get longer, resistance increases, capacitance increases as well. Together, they form RC delay. In modern chips, interconnect delay can dominate gate delay. So, a path that was fine in simulation can fail timing after layout. Signals arrive late. Setup constraints break. When wires run close together, they form capacitance between them. A switching signal on one wire can disturb a neighboring wire. Depending on switching direction, it can speed up or slow down signals. In extreme cases, it can introduce errors. This makes behavior dependent on layout and activity. In schematics, identical devices behave identically. In layout, that assumption breaks. There are gradients across the chip, local variations, and layout asymmetry. So, two identical transistors can behave differently. In SRAM or analog circuits, this can cause complete failure. All these efforts combine in real chips. Timing paths fail, hold violations appear, noise corrupts signals, memory cells lose stability, and the result is simple: the chip fails. The key idea is simple: a circuit is not just its schematic, it is the combination of layout and physics. If you ignore layout, you are not designing the real circuit, you are designing an ideal one. This is why entire fields exist to handle these effects: parasitic extraction, static timing analysis, physical design. These are what make chips work in reality.